We did television outside of the window, yes. But about 5 or 6 years ago, not now.
Here it is.
To surprise fans, you have to surprise yourself. That's not always easy.
Here it is.
Wow!
Yeah.
Johnny Hallyday, ça représente en France la plus grande star qu'on a.
I like riding motorcycles. I like to drive fast cars and things like that. I won't tell you everything.
A little bit, please.
So you put it, that's an orange.
Right, once we've agreed on the pose, we take photographs of the subject all the way through 360 degrees on a base card with a plumb line in the background, so that when we're back in the studio we can put a set square on the photographs to intersect the lines on the base card, and then in space with a plumb line I can position where the plumb line intersects the base card, and then with the heights I can assess where the various parts of the armature need to go. It's quite a lot to do in a small amount of time, yes. In particular the head measurements. When we get to those, it's really quite an ordeal for the sitter, I think. An awful lot of information needs to be got in a short space of time. So the next thing I'll do is, with the photographic information and my measurements, I'll build a metal armature, which is basically a skeleton. Then I'll build a clay figure over the top of that. I'll make the head part detachable, so when the head is roughed out, I'll detach that and work on that to greater detail. And when that's finished, I put it back on the body, finish up the neck detail, and then it's ready for casting. I read up about it beforehand. I've been watching videos and looking at photographs of him to try and find out what sort of person he is and what is the typical sort of pose that I imagine he'd like to be seen in. I obviously have to discuss that with him when he turns up. I think especially for a performer, you want to have something that's animated, and my particular thing is to try and get a nice spontaneous expression so it doesn't look too wooden. So I'm hoping he'll go for in mid an expression in mid-song. It's very difficult for someone to keep that kind of expression, so there will be a lot of variation. So that's where the artistic interpretation comes into a certain extent. You've got to be selective about what you choose. I mean, you just know when it's right and when it's finished. What we do is hyper-realist work, but really the essential core of the likeness should be done, if it's going to work, should be done very quickly. It should be there from the start, and then the rest of it is putting in detail. So, and I've done this a few times, several of us do. If it's wrong, you just scrap it and start again. The thing about wax, Madame Tussauds are trying to make artificial people, really. They're trying to make something that looks, rather than it being a proper piece of sculpture, it's trying to make a replica of a human being, and wax, it's felt, has a translucent quality which is similar to skin. But essentially, yes, it is the same sort of thing as candles. They're big candles we make.
Nous avons réalisé des petits biscuits en farine complète pour satisfaire, en petit clin d'œil, pour satisfaire Monsieur Hallyday, car nous savons qu'actuellement il fait un petit régime et il est friand de boudoirs, biscuits comme ceci, en farine complète.
Johnny Hallyday, ça représente en France la plus grande star qu'on a, et depuis 30 ans. Et ce qui a fait Johnny Hallyday, c'était sa longévité en fait. Ça fait 30 ans qu'il est au top, et jusqu'à aujourd'hui, quoi. Voilà.
Mais vous êtes une personne jeune.
Je suis jeune, mais je l'ai connu tout petit. Mais en fait, Johnny a rassemblé 3 générations en fait. Nos parents, maintenant moi, et puis voilà, ça continue. At the beginnings, he had the first rock and roll music with just guitar, and now he has effects, and he know how to evolve to stay on the top, and that's why a lot of people like him.
What kind of attitude do you want? Do you want something like on stage, or do you want something like relax, or whatever? I don't know.
Right, I know that Nick, the sculptor, has had a few ideas.
I was on stage, if you're agreeable to that.
Yeah. You have, because Joel has some pictures of the last show.
I'd like to pose with a guitar, and I thought if we did something along these lines,
Yeah.
possibly with your foot up on a speaker, you can imagine that that's a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell me what you think about this, but this is how I envisaged it personally. Something like this with your guitar, holding it back and then singing like this, and leaning forward.
Je viens d'avoir entendu ici, j'en ai avec des témoins.
Ah bon?
Non mais ta femme est au courant que tu veux étrangler les enfants aussi?
Oui, mais
Alors, je dis ça, mais
tu es enregistré.
Oui.
Fais un sourire.
Sorry.
Excuse-moi.
So that, you know, there's one bit in the concert you did, and you're sort of singing down to the people in the front, so you're relating down to them in that way. And we thought that was very sort of personal, because we've got figures standing there with guitars, we've got figures standing, but we haven't got anything really with people going downwards.
Yeah, something like.
Yeah, maybe not quite so low as that, but
Well, usually the stage is up, so
Yeah, this probably, the stage would only be about this high. So if you imagine that I'm here, you know, and I'm on the, so,
like, yeah.
yeah. What do you think, Nick? Because we then will get people that can stand, you know, near you.
Anyway, I don't wear watch on stage.
All right. Okay.
Never. Tiens, Joël, viens, montre, s'il te plaît.
What do you think, Nick?
I like that.
Yes. Would you want you wouldn't have your guitar would be gone.
I don't have a guitar with me.
Yeah. So, but that looks good.
You have a
Where
guitar? You have a
you-
guitar, yeah?
No, we didn't. Yeah.
I don't have a guitar. Oh, we could have done it. I don't use a guitar all the time. Anyway.
Yeah. But that's really good, and I like how you got your leg there. You know,
Yeah,
that's great.
more like
Yeah.
And the way you hold the mic as well. Very distinctive.
Yeah, and that's really good. That, you know, that you
I
like.
don't really watch myself. I suppose I do.
And what clothes would you wear for this concert in? What was it?
Well, Joël will give you some pictures of the
Yeah.
stage. We have different kind of. Hein, Joël, il aurait fallu amener des photos pour montrer des costumes, des trucs comme ça. Parce que là, moi, il m'explique clairement, et moi, j'en sais rien.
I can watch. So if you duck down a bit, you know, probably about that difference in height is quite good. Yeah, about there. So if you relate to Lisa, how would you?
Look at us.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Come on. Good job.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You know, like,
So, do you think it should be more?
More animated.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
So if you're singing what type of song would you think this ought to be?
I could scream as well, you know, like, wow!
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need something that's more of a key
Yeah.
that you can...
Yeah, that was good. But don't try and, you know, don't make a noise because your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I quite like.
we need to do,
Oh, well, hang on.
as we take
You went like that. You went and you used your lips a little bit forward. Can you try?
Yeah. Ooh, ooh. Well.
Yes. Something like that.
Viva Blue.
Good.
Actually, I remember when we did that picture, we had a guitar, we did like this.
That's the sort of thing you have to bear in mind. If you could sort of get into the pose each time, you sort of get into the pose in the photograph rather than holding it, so it's more spontaneous.
We'll have to move the chart around the box. Let's just go on the back there.
I knew it would be tricky. It's more like this.
Yeah, very bright.
I had these made the same color as mine. Actually.
Yeah. Just be a couple.
We will then auction that now. To your fans. Pay for our fans.
It's funny to look at yourself.
expression
Yeah.
inverted. Oh, there's a wall. It's this one. 48. 142 T.
And 73rd.
For France, you brought really, you created what
120,
role in
120.
France, didn't you?
What we really did is, first of all, when we started, we translated American songs into French, so it was about the same sort of music,
It's about
anyway,
114.
except it was in French.
Front and back was
Well, it's 105.
What we like. Yeah, we still keep working. We put maybe more blues into it. Now I'm working with musicians. We've been working together. What will be like the albums coming out?
14.
Like it's, we could say like,
Sorry?
still rocking, like, you know, like
From this. Yes.
Creedence style,
Go right to the back.
Creedence Clearwater style, and
So 7 at the
and
back.
blues
Do
into
one in the
blues
middle.
like, well, one of your artists are like Gary Moore.
7
You
at the
know?
back,
Right,
6 in the
yeah.
middle.
Parisian walkways.
Yes, yes,
So you like that blues style guitar?
yes.
Right.
I like guitars actually.
Yeah.
I always put guitars everywhere. I think it's a question of different generation. When I started, I was 16, and people of 16
92.
were coming to my shows. Later, I had children, and I've been listening to my records with the children, and the children have been raised into my music, and they went all over with the music. I don't care about business. I do what I like when I want to do it. I live more rock and roll, I think, as a businessman. Well, first of all, you can't go everywhere alone. Need some bodyguards or people like that. You know. I can go in a shopping center. Well, you know, like everybody else who's known. I was on tour all the time because I've been raised by dancers. And since I was 3 years old, I've been on tour all the time with them. So I didn't do much except being on tour. And I'm still on tour. Oh yes, people I admire.
Okay, so who
Like Jimi Hendrix, for example. Jimmy started with me, actually, around tour. When we started to work together with Jimmy, definitely it was a new style of music. I mean, that's when the pop came, you know, it was not yet the hard rock and roll time, it was more pop, you know. Mick Jones just happened like that because I met him and he played with my ex-wife on stage, Sylvie Vartan, and then after that he wanted to do more rock and roll, and I told him, well, come with me, and he said, yeah. We stayed together about 8 or 9 years together. I did an album with Humble Pie, and he was working with Humble Pie in that time. So I came to Paris, we did not all the album, but most of the album together. And after that, well, I liked him, and I suppose he liked me, and we did an album together in London. And then I had a girl I produced as a singer called Nanette Walkman, and he played guitar on the album and wrote some songs. I don't want to do something. I don't like this, but I do it because it will sell. I want to do something because I like it. I used to, I don't do it anymore. I've been living poor, I've been living rich. I could live poor again.
Okay.
We did television outside of the window, yes. But about 5, 6 years ago, I don't know.